Hi guys, it's Kelly here from Spiritual Awakening Signs, and today we're covering how to channel your divine lightworker healing energy and fulfill your sacred soul purpose with ease. How awesome does that sound? I cannot wait to get into this content. In this video, we're going to be covering the spiritual update, all about the lightworker portal that is currently open, so you'll really want to know about that. Signs that you personally are a lightworker, so that you can work out if that resonates with you. How I found and fulfilled my lightworker purpose, why awakening has made you feel isolated and alone, 3 mistakes on the path to lightworker enlightenment that you don't want to make, and 3 steps to channeling your divine lightworker healing energy. It's absolutely jam-packed. I cannot wait to share this information with you, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing is we'll give you the spiritual update. So in these videos, I always bring you a spiritual update about what's going on in the energies right now, what's happening in spiritual awakening. And right now, the Lightworker portal is open. Okay, now that means that you can increase the vibration of your Lightworker healing energies by drawing on the healing power of the Lightworker grid. And it's its most potent time of year, absolutely. So the Lightworker grid is this wonderful high vibrational white light energy network that kind of crisscrosses all over the planet. And really it's all about all light workers being a team. We've collectively agreed to come on this mission. We've agreed to help, to heal, to serve, or to help humanity or the planet in some way. And when we're part of this light worker grid, we're really part of the entire team of souls that are sprinkled all over the planet, and everyone's doing their part to assist and to help and to heal. Now that wonderful grid that I was talking about, we have a gateway into that. We have a gateway where we can tap into that wonderful energy. It's an abundant source. There is tons of wonderful healing energy. It's a collective force of all the light workers together. We can tap into that. Now you could be watching this video and you could have found it at any time. Now if that's the case, you're getting the lightworker call and it's time for you to step into that energy, so it's available to you now. However, if you're watching this and it is kind of coming up to the holidays, it's Christmas time, it's New Year, what you'll find is that it's the most potent at that time of year. We kind of have direct access to reach that high vibrational energy as it moves into the planet and starts to raise our vibration. So you'll find round about the winter solstice and even into January, most of December and the first few weeks of January have this powerful energy and this gateway where we can step into that wonderful light worker grid. We can tap into it, and the wonderful thing about that is you can access this heightened ability to channel divine light and love throughout the winter solstice period by drawing on that. You energetically unite with all the other light workers around the world and tap into that ascended energy. It's going to boost your intuition, it's going to boost your healing ability, it's just going to revitalize your energy and your spirit. It's a wonderful energy, and very much what I consider to be the energy that people often say at Christmas time. It's so peaceful. People say there's a real energy of peace, and that's really actually what it is. It's that shift in energy around about the winter solstice. So you can absolutely tap into this energy if you know how. So stay tuned right to the end, because we're going to be covering all of that. You're going to know everything by the end of this video. Now it's I think the first thing that we want to get into is talking about what is a light worker. Okay, let's just make it really, really simple. What is a light worker, so that you can start to work out if that resonates with you and if that's true for you. Well, a light worker is a soul that's chosen to incarnate in life with a mission to help Earth transmute dark energy into light. They are a literal light bringer. And they naturally possess high vibrational energy and a really strong desire to help or heal others or even the planet. So there are quite a few signs here that you could be a light worker, so I'm going to list them and just see if you resonate with any of these. So the first sign that you're a light worker would be that you don't feel that you belong here on Earth. Earth feels too harsh for you. So, there's just a sense of like, I'm uncomfortable here, I'm not really at ease, it's too intense, it's too harsh, there's too much conflict, those kind of feelings. Another sign would be that you want to save or heal the world. That's really important to you. There's something in there that feels that that's what you need to do. You know that there's something that you're meant to do, even if you don't know what it is. So that inner sense of, I know I've got a purpose, I know there's something I'm meant to do while I'm here. Which might lead you to feel this next sign, that is, you feel like time is running out. You might feel like there's an alarm clock, on you all the time, and you're waiting for that moment where it rings and time's going to be up. It's because the soul remembers you've got something to do while you're here. You're probably naturally intuitive if you're a light worker. You could also be going through spiritual awakening. That would be a really big indicator that you're definitely a light worker. You probably avoid conflict and disharmony at all costs, so you just can't handle it, you don't like it at all. And you probably, or could have been born into a dysfunctional family. Quite often we incarnate into families that need healing, that need the templates changed, need the energies healed, so we tend to do that. You're probably also deeply sensitive and empathic and naturally caring, so you'll want to help or heal others, or the planet, of course. And you've probably been wounded or traumatized by challenges in your past. So quite often we have lifetimes where there are challenges in it that we draw information and guidance from, we draw wisdom from it, so that when we move forward in our lives and into our life purpose, we can share with people, here's the way to move through that, here's the way to heal from that, because I've done it too. We kind of lead by example. And last sign would be that you're introverted and you need time alone in order to recharge. That would be another big sign that you're a light worker. So now that we know that you're a light worker, because I'm certain that you are, let's get into kind of a little story that I want to share with you about how I found and fulfilled my light worker purpose. Now, one of my greatest joys is my work here at Spiritual Awakening Signs. I'm really, really grateful to have all my most enjoyable interests part of my career, and it brings so much meaning. Being able to do all things spiritual and energy healing and writing from the heart and speaking, of course, helping others. It's something that I always knew I wanted to do, and I absolutely had to do from a really young age. But for most of my life, I'd been quite out of alignment with it, and I'd spent years trying to answer the call that I sensed deep down inside of me, but I just couldn't quell it no matter what I did. And it felt like an alarm clock was ringing deep down in the centre of my soul, urging me to take action. There was something I was supposed to be doing, but I just couldn't find what it was. And even when I found my way into energy healing and intuitive work, I still had this really nagging feeling all the time. It was close to the call, and it was helping people, but it wasn't quite it. It wasn't quite the thing that my soul was urging me to do or to find. And then one day, just before Christmas, something really odd happened. I said goodbye to my last energy healing client of the day, and just as I did, this urgency poured through me at such a rapid rate. It was like a real panicked feeling. It was like, oh, I need to move quick. I had to get a pen and paper, and I had to get it really, really quick. And in this sort of like panicked frenzy, I began writing all this information that was just flooding my mind. And the ideas were coming so fast, I could barely scribble it down in time. And within 5 minutes, I had the entire plan for the basis of Spiritual Awakening Signs. It was just unbelievable. And the thing is, once it was all down on paper, it seemed really obvious. It was like, of course, the last few years of struggling through spiritual awakening and trying to help myself kind of gave me a crash course in being able to help other people through awakening. It started to finally make sense. It was like, of course it is. It was just the right time. It was the right time for me to know that information. It was the right time to align with it, and it just filtered right through really easily, and I was able to make the plan. And the strange thing is, it took me a number of years to actually work out exactly what had happened in that moment. And granted, not all lightworker purposes arrive in such an abrupt way. For some of us, it's just a kind of gentle moving towards something. For me, it was once I was ready. It was just, everything became clear in my mind. But not everybody goes through it in that particular way, and that's okay. It's just whatever way's right for you. But it took me quite some time to actually work out what had happened, and to realise it was a mix between two crucial ingredients. One was connecting to the Lightworker grid, which was happening at Christmas time, and I was meditating a lot, I was tuning in, I was doing energy healing. And the other one was divine timing. So the Lightworker grid is, like I said before, this powerful energetic force field that surrounds the entire planet. in a network of high vibrational white light. And it's the energy that unites all light workers all across the globe who have collectively committed to the mission of assisting Earth in raising its vibration. Okay, and everyone's got their own way that they bring that through, but that's what it's really the core thing that it's all about. And the grid elevates a light worker's energetic resonance, so it kind of boosts the healing ability and the intuitive gifts and allows you to channel your high vibrational energy from the abundant shared source of that grid in order to fulfill your sacred mission. So it's really of benefit for you to tap into that and draw from that. That's how you do it without getting exhausted. But the only problem with that is that the amnesia of life can often cause you to become disconnected from that grid. So we kind of forget what our purpose is. We kind of forget what we're here to do in some level, and we start feeling a bit lost. We start feeling a bit alone, and you can end up feeling quite isolated and with this sense of kind of lacking. And knowing, on some level that you're not as powerful as you should be. There's something that tells you, and it's like, I should be able to do more than this. But being connected to the Lightworkers Grid is what keeps your soul on track and aligning with and fulfilling your soul mission. So it's like your soul comes online again and goes, oh yeah, that's what I'm here to do. Of course, I remember now. That's what the Lightworker Grid does for you. And it might not be an instantaneous thing. It might just be that your energy's realigning and you start to, notice your interest. You start to notice the path unfolding for you. But guess what? The Lightworker portal, our gateway to plugging back into the grid, opens right around the time of the winter solstice, like I said, and it's there throughout the festive period. So there's never been a better time to tune back in, to realign, and to set positive intentions for the coming new year to align with your Lightworker purpose. Now, the other ingredient is the divine timing. If it's not the right time on your soul's journey, or there's more learning or more wisdom that's going to be essential for your Lightworker role, then no matter what you do or how much you plead with the universe, I know because I did it, it's not going to become clear to you yet. It's not going to become clear to you just yet. But you can energetically prepare for that time because you never really know how close it is. So it's a good idea to prepare for that in advance, and we'll be talking about what you can do for that just a little bit further in the video. And the biggest challenge that I hear from those of us going through spiritual awakening is that you end up feeling isolated and alone, but you'll continue to feel isolated and alone, and that something's missing in your life. If you don't step into your Lightworker purpose, there's just going to be something that's so unfulfilled, it's not going to feel right. A part of your soul is going to feel unfulfilled no matter what you do. I knew the feeling really well, and it won't stop calling until you listen to your soul. That's a certainty. But with that in mind, let's talk about some of the mistakes that could get in the way. So these are 3 mistakes on the path to Lightworker enlightenment that you don't want to make. So let's get into that. Mistake number 1 would be hiding. So when awakening hits, it can quite often feel like it's just too much to bear. It's so overwhelming and it's really all-consuming, and that it can feel quite urgent to cut ourselves off. We feel like we need to shut ourselves away immediately just to hide in the peace and quiet and try and let the intensity ease off. But quite often I've found that these tendencies are outdated past life beliefs that need to be cleared. We believe that we need to be alone in order to grow spiritually. That's a really common one, and they can be cleared really, really easily. But unfortunately, hiding doesn't just isolate us from the people that are immediately around us. It quite often cuts us off spiritually as well. It's like a metaphor for everything else. So when you cut yourself off from everyone else, you're also sending a message to the universe to cut other things off as well. And it can really cut off your intuitive gifts in certain ways. It can make it really difficult. It can make it a lot more difficult, and that only depletes the soul further and kind of lessens your Lightworker power. So if instead you choose to unite with that Lightworker collective of the grid, especially at this most potent time of year, this is the perfect time to tune in. It's really easy to tune in right now. then we plug back into a rejuvenating power source that's not going to only revive and reconnect us energetically to our fellow light workers, but it's going to enable us to channel that high vibrational energy really, really easily. It makes it a lot easier. So mistake number 2 is believing that you need to save the world. Now, most of us light workers are programmed with this belief, and it does serve a purpose. It ensures that our sacred soul mission is of helping humanity, is going to make it through the amnesia of life, so that it's at the forefront of our awareness. We're not going to forget that that's what we're here to do. But unfortunately, sometimes it can persist just a little bit too much, too loudly, and instead of a guiding nudge, it can become an insurmountable burden that feels impossible to ever complete. You feel like you're never going to be able to do it, and you wouldn't. That's a huge undertaking. The truth is that light workers do ultimately set out to help with Earth and all of its inhabitants, but it's a thing that we're doing together as a united force. It's a team of people. It's a team of souls coming to Earth and looking to uplift things together, rather than something that you're doing just on your own. And it's in unifying with all those other light workers and drawing from that really powerful collective that you spread your healing power. You're able to share that energy. So set down that burden that you need to save the world. It's holding you back, and instead join with the Lightworker force, where you can assist humanity as part of a team. You can feel that you're there with your comrades. You know, it's a good energy to be with others in this. Another mistake. Okay, mistake number 3 would be ignoring the call. So most light workers, I would say, throughout their lives get the nagging feeling that they're late, that they're running out of time, that they're out of alignment with where they're meant to be, or what it is that they're meant to do. Even if their life's on a positive trajectory, because that can happen. It's like people would say, but you've got everything you want, you've got all these great things, you've got this, you've got that. And it's like, yeah, but it's not right, it's not aligning with the soul. And that can quite often cause us to put our dreams, our goals, our wishes on the back burner. But the call will persist. That's the challenge and the difficulty. Your soul is urging you to fulfill the purpose that it's set out to accomplish. And it's your greatest joy, even if you can't see how just yet. It is your greatest joy, and it's an invitation waiting to be accepted in this lifetime. Failure to do that is only going to result in misalignment, obstacles, and frequent signs in the universe in its attempt to bring you closer to fully embodying your higher and happier authentic self. Hear the call and take one small step towards it today. I would really urge you to do that. Hear the call, step into your power. Okay, so are you guys getting all of this? I hope that you're following all the information, and I hope that you're finding it really helpful. Now we're going to get into our steps to channeling your divine light worker healing energy. So step number 1, okay, and this is actually probably the most important to begin with. Step number 1 is acknowledge the light worker within you. Now, you can't truly access your light worker gifts and abilities until you accept the truth that you are a light worker. You are a light worker. And simply having the desire to be a light worker indicates that the call is within you, and that your soul knows that it is actually a light worker. So instead of questioning your light worker status and looking for articles and blog posts and YouTube videos, just choose that that's the life path you want to take. Even if it doesn't entirely feel natural or even authentic yet, just choose that that is the life path that you want to take, the path of a light worker, and begin to make decisions from the energy that you are a light worker. Do things that you feel a light worker would do. Extend a little kindness. Practice a little bit more patience with others. Doing so calls that light worker aspect of your soul to surge to the surface purely from necessity, because you're calling on it, you need it, you're engaging with that energy. And it's not only in embracing the light worker within that in embracing the light worker within, you will gain access to your sacred spiritual power. It's in really acknowledging that that's in there, that that's who you are, and stepping into that, that's going to open this availability of all these other gifts and all these spiritual abilities, the intuition, the healing power. It's really wonderful. Okay, step 2. Now this is what we've been talking about throughout the video. Connect to the light worker grid. So while all light workers do have absolutely heightened healing and intuitive abilities, we're not necessarily meant to go it alone. We harness more power when we work together. And light workers are not supposed to be solitary either, despite the fact that a lot of us have past life memories of going it alone and struggling to achieve our higher purpose by helping or healing humanity. In the past, we've lived many lifetimes in lonely spiritual solitude, bearing the weight of a soul promise to serve. That's usually what's in there. It's like, I must serve humanity, I must serve. But that time's passed, and now we are part of a huge unified energy field full of light workers, and it has the collective aim of assisting humanity together. Like I said, it's always together. And all of those light worker souls are dispersed all over the planet right now, and creating a sort of energetic grid that keeps us all connected in our aim. You know, it keeps us all focused and drawing from that collective power source. It's just unimaginable white light healing energy, loving energy, love and light. And you can really draw from that and send it out into the world. So you want to link in to the grid. You want to draw from that abundant, infinite source, because it really is infinite, and find that you not only no longer feel so spiritually isolated, but that you can amplify your personal unique healing power, your skills, your abilities, in being supported by that celestial structure. It's very exciting. And step number 3, so here we go. Fulfill your sacred soul purpose, brackets, one step at a time. Okay, now that you're linked in, once you've done that and you're linked in, you already have more power and more support available to you, because you're drawing on that collective light worker source. Then it's time to fulfill your soul purpose. And despite the concepts of living to serve or having to give every ounce of your energy in order to help, you'll find out that your sacred soul purpose is actually not a drain, and instead it is your greatest joy. It's always your greatest joy. And if you don't believe me, you can look at me here with Spiritual Awakening Signs. You know, everything that I'm doing here is a part of the things that I love to do. There are things that I would do if I wasn't working. You know, I would still be reading and talking about spirituality. I would still want to write. I would still want to help others. So it's the same thing. It's about fulfilling your greatest joy. And it'll be your favourite things to do. Absolutely. So start thinking about yours, or write it down till you find out what feels right. Try and find out, because it's this special blend between your natural skills, your talents, your abilities, and your passion or interests. So when those two things cross over, that's when you really find your true purpose. It's wonderful. So like I said, start thinking about yours, start writing them down to find what feels right to you. And if it feels too much or you don't think you can do it, just take one tiny step towards it. So for me, it was taking the writing I would usually do in a notebook and instead typing it into a blog post. That was just a little change that I could make to move into that energy of, you know, I'm a light worker and I'm here doing my light worker thing. For you, it might be buying a book about a new healing technique. It might be making some handmade crafts. It might be cooking a natural plant-based food. Everybody's different. And don't worry about knowing the end destination for sure. Your soul purpose will unfold through a series of small steps towards it. Just keep engaging in what it is that lights you up inside, and then you really will be a light worker. It's really fantastic. So, but how do we do that? That's the question. How? Well, it is simple, it's quick, and it's easy. We use energy healing. That's the best way to always achieve these things. Changes can be made in minutes with energy healing that'll set your energy system up for life. And for a much easier awakening too. And we've got a resource that can do all of that for you. So we'll talk about that in just a little moment, in case that's something that would be useful and a fit for you. So let's take a little recap of the class so far. What we've learned that the Lightworker Power Portal is open, and it is really potent at this festive period around the winter solstice. We've learned that you're feeling isolated and alone because you've become disconnected from that Lightworker grid. That's what makes you feel on the soul level like something's wrong, like you're alone, you're isolated. We talked about how I found and fulfilled my own Lightworker purpose. We talked about 3 mistakes on the path to Lightworker enlightenment, which was hiding, believing that you need to save the world, and ignoring the call. Don't ignore the call. And then we talked about 3 steps to channeling your divine Lightworker healing energy, which were acknowledge the Lightworker in you, connect to the Lightworker grid, and fulfill your sacred soul purpose one step at a time. Just take one tiny step towards it so that you're constantly realigning in the direction of your greatest joy. Well, the good news is you don't need to go to energy healers, you don't need to train, you don't need expensive repeated sessions. If you're ready to get started on connecting to the Lightworker grid right now, then you can check out our energy healing meditation, the Lightworker link. It's going to help you to energetically connect with Lightworkers across the globe. We're going to do that for you, connect you into that energy. It's also going to heal wounds that are getting in the way of your connection and of you drawing that Lightworker power and being a Lightworker. Things like wounds of loneliness. We're going to release past life vows of isolation. Loads of us have made that. I need to be alone to grow spiritually, and then it plays out in our lives and we end up on the spiritual path and feeling completely isolated. So we're going to clear all that for you, and we can get started in literally about 10 minutes time. You won't find an energy healing product like this anywhere else. Our meditations are a really special hybrid blend of meditation and energy healing. It's meditation with a real strong purpose, because then we can do our activations. We can activate psychic senses, we can activate other abilities, we can bring healing to things that need healed, we can clear energies as well. It's incredibly powerful. And I work with a collection of high vibrational spirit guides who are dedicated to helping us on the awakening pathway. So just like we were talking about being a group of light workers, they're kind of like the group of light workers that I use and that I connect to. And they will work specifically when we are doing the meditation, and they will adjust all the energetic levels that you need for you. So it's the equivalent of a really specialized one-to-one energy healing session. And it doesn't matter whether you watch it live or whether you watch a recording. The guides go to work the moment you begin watching, whether it's 2 weeks from now or 2 years from now, and they'll make those changes in real time for you. So they're really a great help, and I'm very, very grateful to have them assisting us on this journey. But you can use these meditations again and again, and you can use it to heal the layers that you'll be working through from the comfort of your own home and at your own pace. Whenever that stuff shows up again, whenever you feel like you're not quite connected, you're feeling a little bit alone, just listen to it again. You'll get the energy downloads and it'll connect you back in, and you'll start to feel more connected energetically. So this particular meditation will energetically connect you to the grid of light workers all over the world. It's going to help you to tap into that potent power and draw on that healing energy so that you can channel it out. It's going to heal the pain of loneliness that you're carrying. It's going to release past life oaths of solitude. We want to get rid of those. Clear life patterns of isolation, and it's going to help you to stay connected while growing spiritually too, because that's the key. We want to make sure we're connected and growing spiritually at the same time. So take a little look below and see if it feels like a fit for what you're looking for right now, and you can check it out. And I hope that you have enjoyed this class. I'll see you again soon. Bye.